Man, I really hate using social media. There's really nothing that could make it worse. In the modern day, we all have to deal with a seemingly endless deluge of updates. None more obtrusive and annoying than the pointless UI change. We all have had to go through this many times with different softwares we use on a daily basis. None more repugnant than the mobile UI changes Discord made a few months back. It never actually feels like they're trying to improve functionality. They've made it significantly less stable. I mean, hell, look at poor Coda's. He's been stuck in VC for a week because they took his leave button away.
Can I leave now?
I remember Discord being way more stable last year. Like, seriously, what happened? Where did my $9.99 a month go, Lebowski? I'm almost certain it doesn't go to improving the app. Otherwise, it wouldn't need to be restarted 5 fucking times to have my gallery show up. We gotta remember that sometimes these apps get into a Goldilocks zone, where the UI is perfectly intuitive and where the apps are completely stable. But something seems to compel companies to make their products worse. I've said this before, but I think it deserves a proper introduction. Enshittification. This is a word that describes the downward trend we see in most big tech and other publicly traded companies. We get to the point where the app, device, subscription service is so good that there's nothing left to improve. So some brainless suit decides that it's time to change, so they can meet their growth quota. And it's always stupid investors who force these companies to make changes to supposedly increase the stock prices. It really seems like the only ones that win are those crackpot investors with the air-to-brain ratio of 80-1. And that leaves all of us, the users, to suffer through every shitty update and repugnantly brain-dead UI alteration. Now I know I already talked about it, but what is up with that new UI on Discord? It's just copying Instagram, and poorly at that. I just think it's funny because people that use Instagram to text and chat are completely different to Discord users. From moving the navigation bar to constant image glitches, what makes them think that this will bring more users in and not just alienate their current user base? Swiping to the side to see everything just makes sense, and it was intuitive. Even if you want to change the default UI, just add a toggle. It shouldn't be that hard if you already have the assets, but again, why would they care? They're too big to fail. So what do you think, Coda?
I think it's great.
Wait, what?
It's minimalistic perfection.
I think we need to talk about the other half of this issue. When a UI goes unchanged for way too long, some platforms are basically unusable by a modern standard, and I think none more evident than Newgrounds. From the outdated tagging system to the odd layout, it's just very difficult to use. But who knows, maybe that might be a feature. Give it a skill floor to upload so you don't get a bunch of Instagram reels of the terminally online attempting to cook. Like I said, it might be a feature. From what I can tell, it seems like this issue stems from publicly traded companies. They're beholden to the shareholders instead of the user base. So instead of giving features the users would want, some corporate idiot gets a stupid idea stuck in their head and just has to make it a fucked reality. Like seriously, why does Discord need shitty mobile games baked in? Same thing with YouTube. Why does the application get bricked every few months from someone adding an entire server or being unable to run because it's trying to grab Wi-Fi before your computer's even connected? You'd really think that people with years of experience working on software would have a handle on making it work properly across the most popular platforms and operating systems, but maybe that's too much to ask. I actually remember something similar happening in apps like iFunny. For some reason, it always seemed to run hot back in the day. They fixed that issue, but introduced an even more pervasive problem. The ads. You literally can't go 3 seconds without seeing an ungodly mobile ad that involves some sexually depraved activity being performed by some anime woman or weird corporate-looking slot machine people. Between comments disguised as memes, it's truly repugnant. We really need to fight back. But we can only do that if we're steadfast in our disdain and resolve. But people don't do that. They just want their dopamine fix.
You know, Reed, you might be right about this UI change. It's been on this screen for hours.
Wait, what screen? Coda, you know I love you, right?
Gorp?
I think the biggest conclusion to draw here is that UI changes can be helpful sometimes. Kinda like when Credit comes out with a big update. Usually they give you the option to customize everything with some new features added. But it's kind of annoying when it homogenizes a platform to feel like all the other slop being pushed onto the internet. It might be a good idea to stop supporting publicly traded companies, because profit-motive and corporate culture only allows them to create trash. It's kind of like taking breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert and blending it up as a one-stop protein source. It might work, but it's not going to be good. Pretty much as soon as the original creators give up their project to a corporation, you can basically consider it dead. Now, I may be biased because I have been affected by UI changes like the Discord one, but I'm trying to be optimistic about it. I think we'll inevitably find a new platform that'll fulfill the niche I find myself in. So make sure to always be on the lookout for new startups, especially ones that refuse to be taken over by corporate interests, because that's the only way we're going to get out of the enshittification death spiral. In conclusion, UI changes suck, eat a cinder block.